My name is Lanika McLean, and I will be presenting about the Atkins diet. This diet was written and created by Robert C. Atkins, who was a physician and cardiologist. In 1972, he published the first edition of his book called Dr. Atkins' Diet Revolution. In 2002, he published the second edition called Dr. Atkins' New Diet Revolution, which expanded on his original book by adding tips, recipes, and most importantly, research to back his claims. The Atkins diet advocates for low carbohydrate, high protein, and high fats. So let's talk about carbohydrates. Carbohydrates are macronutrients, which means they are one of the three main ways the body obtains energy or calories. So along with carbs, proteins and fats are the three macronutrients that are essential for body functioning. It must be noted that they have to be obtained through diet because the body does not create macronutrients. So carbs are sugars, starches, and fibers found in fruits, grains, vegetables, and milk products. One interesting fact about carbohydrates are they're actually called carbohydrates because the chemical level, they contain carbon, hydrogen, and oxygen. So 1 gram of carbohydrates equals about 4 calories, and 45 to 65% of daily calories should come from carbohydrates. So if you're consuming a diet of 1,200 calories, then that would be about 135 grams of carbs on the lower end, which does happen to be the RDA for carbs. So according to the National Institute of Health, the recommended daily amount of carbs for an adult is 135 grams a day. And so below you do see 3 pictures. We have some blueberries, strawberries, and bananas. These are all different types of carbs, different types of servings, and as you can see, they are close in grams. So not all carbs are the same. There are simple carbs and complex carbs. Simple carbs contain 1 or 2 sugars, so monosaccharides and disaccharides. They're usually in candies, sodas and syrups, white bread, cereals. They're the more processed of the carbs, and they don't take much time to break down, so they're quickly digested and absorbed. Complex carbs, on the other hand, contain 3 or more sugars, so they're polysaccharides. They're in starchy foods, so it does take longer to absorb in your body. Within simple carbs, there are refined carbs, and there are 2 types of refined carbs. There are the sugars and the refined grains. The sugars are the table sugar, high fructose corn syrup, agave syrup, which you find in sodas, candies, and different desserts. Refined grains are white flour, so white pasta, white breads, those are different refined grains, and they have the fibrous and nutrients removed from the grain, so that is why they are refined. So they're stripped of fiber, vitamins, and minerals, so technically they are empty calories. They are digested quickly, they have a high glycemic index, which does lead to spikes in blood sugar and insulin levels, which really isn't good for your health. A low-carb diet, especially the Atkins diet, has been shown to lead more weight loss, greater improvements in blood sugar, the good cholesterol, the HDL, triglycerides, and other health markers such as waist to hip ratio and things such as that. So there is a lot of research that has been done to show the effectiveness of these low-carb diets. The basis of the Atkins diet is that you can lose weight if you lose the carbs. So if you limit sugar, which is the carbohydrates, your body will end up burning fat for fuel instead of carbohydrates, which is the main source of fuel for the body. The Atkins diet has a 4-phase plan. So there's induction, which is when you start with 20 grams of carbs per day, you eat high fat, you eat high protein, and low carb vegetables. The second phase is balancing, which is when you slowly add more nuts and more low-carb vegetables and kind of get fruit back into your diet. Then there's the pre-maintenance, which is when you are close to your goal weight, about 10 pounds until you are your goal weight, and you add more carbs in diet until your weight loss slows down. And then phase 4 is lifetime maintenance. This time you can eat as many healthy carbs as you can, as much as your body can actually tolerate without regaining weight. Because it's a lifetime maintenance because you continue this lifestyle for the rest of your life. There are a lot of studies that have been done to test the effectiveness of a low-carb diet versus other diets. Recently, the New England Journal of Medicine took 322 obese individuals over 2 years. In turn, we saw that individuals in the low-carb group lost 10.4 pounds on average, while the calorie-restricted low-fat group lost 6.4 pounds on average, and the Mediterranean, also calorie-restricted group, lost 9.7 pounds on average. So this shows that low carb did lose the most weight within these 3 diets. Nutrition and Metabolism in London did a randomized crossover trial with 28 overweight individuals for 30 days for women and 50 days for men. The results were really significant. Those in the low-carb group lost more weight, especially the men, to the fact that the men in the low-carb group actually lost 3 times the abdominal weight than the men in the low-fat diet group. And finally, the Archives of Internal Medicine also did a study with 60 overweight individuals over the course of 12 weeks. So there was the low-carb, high monosaturated fat diet group, as well as the low-fat diet group. The low-carb diet group lost 13.6 pounds on average, while low-fat lost 7.5 pounds on average. Not only do we have the weight to look at, the triglycerides went down in the low-carb group. The waist-to-hip ratio also improved in the low-carb group, which are different markers to look for. Overall, the Atkins diet is a low-carb, high-protein, high-fat diet that is in order to lose weight. There are 4 phases that essentially start at a very low amount of carbs and gradually increases intake until you are at your goal weight. I do not think that this is a good diet for long term because there is a lack of main body energy with your carbs that can lead to nutritional deficiencies. So doing this diet for a long term is not a good idea. But the research does prove that it helps lose weight. But it does also require a lot of patience to maintain. For example, you'll need to do carb counting, make sure that you're eating all the right things, getting your calories in. Overall, I would try this diet, and I do like this diet. So, thank you so much for listening.